Brother, the whole 45 minutes, all of our friends are like this.
They're no longer role models. It's just like,
I have a lot more time than I thought that I had.
Rakan, Daniel G, and Kane. I'm like, I want to be a mix of these three individuals. Like,
it's a dangerous mix, don't you think, Daniel?
Yeah, I think that's deadly.
I have to always look at my progress. I'm like, okay, well, this is good, but there's always another level.
The salesperson has to be charismatic.
Welcome to Success After Dark podcast. We have a legend today on the pod.
Legend.
My brother Daniel G. I would say
feels good because Canadian turf.
It is Canadian turf. I have my brother Armin as a co-host. Listen, this podcast has been overdue. Been waiting
I'm
for.
so used to doing calls.
Yeah.
It's like,
This call is...
This call, guys. But look, I think let me share a little bit about Daniel that I know, and then I'll get Armin. Daniel, bro, we have known each other for some time. In the beginning, we were both in Toronto. You were mainly here, and we knew of each other. We never, contact each other. And one of the things that me and you talked about the first time we met up is that the powerhouses in Toronto, they're not friends with each other. Mm-hmm. So when we became friends, and I invited you to the first thing to my business partner restaurant, and then eventually, you came around. We made some friends, and we made some moves here in Toronto. It started getting big, and I know for a fact that it was the first time that I met you. I knew, bro, we're gonna have things long term, and I knew we were gonna do some big things together, and we did, bro. We spoke on stages that people can dream about. That's like right, a pandemic event.
And it's crazy because it's all been so compressed.
In a very short period of time.
Months.
And I'm excited to have you on, bro. Appreciate you for taking the time for the spot. I know my brother Armin as well has been following you for some time, so I'll let him kind of do his own intro. And then
okay, so in case you guys don't know, right? I got into the industry of sales, network marketing, and so on 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I get on. Everybody's talking about this one individual called Mr. Daniel G. They're like, bro, get on his call. Just listen to him for one call. And I never believe in like trainings, this, that, motivations, this, that. Because I thought there was going to be one of those, right? More motivational than informational.
Yeah.
So I get on one of his live streams.
Okay.
And brother, remember you had Wednesday calls?
Yeah.
Every Wednesday?
Yeah.
So I get on a live stream, and then we listen with my boys, like in a house, all broke guys, right? We just listen. We put it on the TV, screen share.
Right before the pandemic.
We are listening for an hour, brother. Like 50 minutes, 45 minutes. And Daniel G is going all in. All technical. He's like, this is what you do? This exactly this way, that way. Brother, the whole 45 minutes, all of our friends are like this. What did he say? Again, please. And he says something so fast. It hits.
Yeah, Daniel's
but then you have to repeat it for yourself.
Through a training, bro.
So I keep following. And then Daniel G, every day he's doing giveaways, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I'm not.
I remember that phase, bro. You had a phase where you were giving out
to this day.
Yeah, I spent like
no, bro. But there was some. He had a season.
It was 2019 to 2020 midway, where I was just every day doing a giveaway.
Yeah.
Every single day, whether it was buying something or just cash giveaways.
So every day I'm hopping on, right? And then Daniel G said one day, my sales university. I'm like, sales university? I have to get in there. How much was it there on?
I don't know, but I always know it's
under.
It was like,
it's a few $100.
So
it was nothing for sure.
It's always. It still is.
But I remember the amount I got into this like at the beginning time, right? We are like, yeah, bro, we don't have to get in. So every day I'm on the live stream taking notes and so on, like learning how the process works, that. One day,
he's like, you didn't learn sales before.
Never.
No,
right.
Never.
It was
Fun fact.
he
But
was
you
a
were-
he
you
was
were-
a skip the dishes guy.
Uber Eats, Uber Eats.
Uber
But
Eats.
you were already inside.
He was inside of my organization.
inside
Yeah,
your organization,
I got him
that's right.
started.
Yeah,
met
yeah,
him
okay,
met him at a gym.
Yeah, Rohan got me started,
Right.
and then I'm on, right? Anyways, every day we are hopping on a live stream, 5-6 Turkish guys in one house. Done. Daniel G's like, say done when it's done. Done. 3 dones, brother. 1 week. But
I would always ask, who's this Armin guy? Like, who's this Armin guy?
And then I kept asking. Done. One day he's like, official Mr. Unemployed. That was my username.
Yeah,
back
I
then.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I don't. You get it. You get it, bro. You've been asking for it. You get it. Bro, I remember I got it.
He gave you the access to,
Access to
university. Yeah,
bro,
yeah, yeah.
at this time, I'm like, I'm Daniel G's soldier from now on. He says, kid, die, we die, brother. No issues. Because, brother, back home, like, these things are big, you
Yeah,
know?
of course, bro.
Big, like. And then I get into sales university.
Yeah.
My whole mindset changes.
Mm.
I start talking to people differently. Like, I start being my own man. You're like, never come on, apologetic, this, that. Like, all these things affected me, right? The 5 steps and so on. Like, it's so deep. Like, I can't even explain it here. Anyways, I learned that. And then ILG gives one more giveaway. I'm there too. To this day, bro, last week I was on his live. He's like, you know what? I'm going to give away my university. I'm like, done. Then just Armin, bro. I gave you everything. What else do you want from me, bro? Like, I gave you everything. Like, you already have everything.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Do you remember the first time we met, though?
100%.
When was it?
In Daniel G's event, bro.
Oh yeah.
You know how you approached me?
was
Yes,
was
brother.
when
You know what you said to me?
Yeah, I went to Daniel G. I'm like,
He said, I'll bring you to the best kebab.
Brother,
That was your opening
kebab.
line.
we
Yeah.
have to go to Turkish food, bro.
Yeah.
We owe you one.
is it the one the breakfast one?
Breakfast
Yeah.
or like kebab
yeah.
49, you know, same restaurant.
Smartest thing, though.
We should
because, like,
take you,
that's-
bro. We
Yeah.
should. Did you take him? Did you ever
Brother,
take him?
tomorrow morning we go.
No, for real.
Tomorrow,
If you
I
don't
think
have
it's
time.
Christmas.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Is
the
tomorrow
next day,
Christmas?
I think, yeah. Tomorrow's
What's tomorrow?
Christmas Eve.
This is
That's
how you
haram,
know we're
bro.
out of the
Yeah,
game.
It's
but
Daniel, that's haram. But
no, we'll do kebab next week
Yeah,
after
yeah,
we train.
100%,
Well,
100%.
tomorrow.
it wasn't.
we-
It wasn't kebab, bro. He's taking you to a breakfast place.
Oh, okay.
Anybody
Whatever
eating
you want,
kebab on the breakfast, brother?
Yeah, whatever you want. But anyways, to this day, brother, and I remember dreaming, being like, cause I have 3 idols in total, right? I look up to Rakan, Daniel G, and Kane. I'm like, I want to be a mix of these 3 individuals. Like,
That's a
when I
dangerous
grow.
mix, don't you think,
Yeah,
Daniel?
yeah, I think that's deadly. And I like how you said that.
you
because,
met Kane like or got to know Kane
yeah,
recently.
yeah, of course. I think that's very smart that you said that because you know there's gonna be a lot of traits that you take from me that you know that aren't good that you'd be like, oh, you know, maybe Rakan does that better. So it's smart that you said I'm just intertwining a few.
So
and
let
you're
me-
laser focused on a few.
Okay, so here's my question
some
for
people
Daniel.
take like 40.
I have
you
a
know,
question for Daniel.
And then they end up doing shit.
I have a question for Daniel.
Yeah.
What's your top 3
Of people that are like
of
role
people
models.
that you would sure? Because I used to have a top 3 up until I got really close to them. Now it's somewhat changing.
I don't have anybody at the moment.
Yeah.
When I was young and I was inspired, it would have been, I'd have to say it would be, you know, Tom Hopkins
Yeah.
and Brian Tracy.
Has that ever been Grant?
No, but I've went through Grant's, you know,
Yeah.
material.
Yeah.
And,
I've been through Grant's material.
when I was
When I was at Good
very-
Life.
Okay, yeah, when I was very young, maybe
Yeah.
at the same time you went to.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't get caught up in people's like content now. I don't even know what's out there.
You know what the issue is? I'll tell you the issue. Because my biggest issue when I was upcoming, I think I was already making a 6-figure income. I was making like over 10 grand a month. The issue with that was I was listening to too many people. So I'll give you an example. Like Grant would say, save your money, right? I used to listen a lot to Bradley. Bradley would like, well, you can't show up to a meeting with a shitty car. And then I'd listen to a third person that would say like some other thing. And I'm like, which one is right? Up until like probably 2020 is when I realized I gotta stop listening to too many people and just have one voice in my head. One voice in my head. And I, you know, in the beginning, I've always liked Kane's approach, you know, because he's the guy that got me in. But he does not, his approach is not well done for what my goals were. Especially for the Middle East, you know, I can't do what Kane does on social media. Sure. It just it wouldn't make sense for my Arab people. So I like 2 things. I like that, you know, in the beginning I've had people, and then as you grow, they're no longer role models. It's just like Well, he's just been in the game longer than I have. So I'm 10 years in the game. I'll probably do what he was doing. What do you think?
Yeah, the same way I think of it. And because I look at that stuff like more inspirational to say for myself. Like I get fired up by that. Like before I'd be like, whoa, my God, this person's crazy. And then I look at the person, okay, well, they're 58 years old.
Yeah.
And when I branched out, I was 24 and a half or whatever.
When you branched out
when
of...
I stopped sales and I started my businesses. I was 24 and a half. And then I said, the same thing. I said, I'm not going to put a time limit to whenever it happens. Whatever happens is to anybody. But I said, I definitely know it will happen before 55 years old. So I didn't really care. And I was willing to wait a while because I said, in the process of me waiting a while, I'm going to hold it on for a lot longer when a lot of people have quit, like especially inside of my industry. A lot of coaches, they end up quitting because they don't get it within like.
But what do they do? Like they quit and do what?
They go back to whatever they were starting in the beginning.
Bro, that's bad.
Listen, I think, bro, didn't you and I have this conversation about it last night? Or I can't remember who had a conversation with it, or a couple of nights when we were at the restaurant. But I was saying like, a lot of people, try to jump too quickly.
We talked about this. Yeah,
to try to become like an
Coaches.
A player, or not just a coach, just any type of A player. Like, okay, I want to lead this and I want to make my money. And I would always tell people, I'd say number one, okay, how much you make? Oh, $250,000. I just met a guy, he's in solar. He's making a lot of money in solar.
Yeah.
I want to start my own solar business. I said, why? Man, I think I want to make a lot more money. I said, A, you might not if you're not good at operations from A to Z. You're not ready to be your own assistant, marketer, do your own stuff, set up your own stuff, do systems and all that. You might not. It might be a lot more stress. You might tap out quick and then have to go back to day one. Sometimes being the sales rep is a lot less stress. You sell something, you pass it off, customer service.
Yeah.
You're spoiled.
I think this is why the reason why.
And even if you're making $300,000 a year just as a sales rep, and you can make $550,000 as a business owner, sometimes it's just better being the sales rep.
Yeah, that's the headache and the stress. Bro.
Yeah. There's no.
And I feel like there's some people that are just good at sales. Like,
if you genuinely, exactly. But I think if you genuinely don't, like, I think some people want to become a business owner because they, not just because if they're not in love with becoming like the actual game of being a business owner, okay, they don't like creating, right? And then like managing and doing all these things in the beginning, they will end up quitting because you got to like the game of being a business owner. That's very important. So when people come in and they don't actually love the game, so they're not locked into being like, I'm going to do this for a lifetime, right? This is just like the fucking game. It's like when a soccer player plays soccer and then he's done playing soccer, he goes to become a coach of the soccer player. He's just in love with the game of it, right? So I think when somebody's not in love with the actual game, they just become it because somebody else become it and they think they become it and they're going to make more money, they're eventually going to quit because they're not in love with the game of it.
I love that.
Like this is just game.
If we go back in time, Daniel, so you started sales at 14, I remember. If I remember the story right.
Seriously at 14.
Seriously at 14.
Earlier before that, because everybody's been in sales, sold candy.
So here's a question for you: Are salespeople born or made?
Is a salesperson born?
Yeah, like is it naturally because they're enthusiastic, because they know how to talk to people, because they're gonna be a good salesman, or a good salesman can be created?
Both.
Explain how.
Okay, cool. So if I were to say a salesperson's born, right? Now, what's starting to happen? All these people that can be great at sales, right? Because think of just sales. You understand a customer, you ask good questions, you work hard, hunger, desire, work ethic, you ask questions, you solve a problem, you sell a product. Now, are some people born more charismatic? Sure, because when you ask that question, you're like, oh, the salesperson has to be charismatic, But by me saying, oh, the salesperson's born, then everybody else is like, well, okay, well, I'm not charismatic, but I've seen people become millionaires and they were introverts. Why? They ask questions. They're a lot more disciplined. A guy like myself, ADD, bouncing around the walls, sometimes doesn't listen to the customer, doesn't solve the problem as quick, loses a lot of customers, doesn't know how to follow up with people, doesn't have a customer relationship management system. So as you start, just like you start building an organization, you start hiring salespeople, you're like, oh shit, I never thought that person was going to be good at sales. Yeah. So as you start training more people, you just start to realize, hey, by the way, this is the structure of what sales is. If the person has hunger and they can implement it, they could be good at sales. And the only reason why I go hard at sales is because a lot of people are born with the pre-connotation that you have to be born in sales to be great at sales. It's true. So what happens is even if somebody's inside of a sales job and they're selling shoes when they're 16 years old, but they're not charismatic, but they're still in a sales job, they're in their head, there's like, well, there's no way I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, because nobody ever said, hey, by the way, sales is another profession.
Yeah.
So they already tap out way too quickly. But then if you really go show the stats, I'll show you a million salespeople that didn't have to be bouncing off of the walls.
Yeah.
They still had internal hunger and desire. Internal, by the way, enthusiasm is not always just external. So it doesn't have to be like, I'm not this positive, crazy guy. Hunger can be internal, like you want to win. Yeah. You know, it's like in the eyes, like you could see hunger, you know? So if that person, think of even an introvert. I always say this. If you, because there's two people. One person asks questions just to reply to the next question.
Yeah.
Other person asks questions to figure out the answer and reply back on what the answer was. Seeks to understand, seek to reply. Two different type of people, right? So it's like the person that actually seeks to understand, it's a lot more attractive and sexier to the customer. So, and maybe that person's not extroverted, but they're actually, oh, by the way, you said this 5 seconds ago. Janet, what did you mean by da, da, da? Oh, shit, the person's listening. Boom, that's the sale right there. That's a sale, right? So that could be an introverted person where somebody says that person's not born to win.
Absolutely. Do you think? So I was.
And sales. Sorry, bro, to cut you off. Sales is sales is sales. Yeah. So I also believe this too, as well. I also believe if you could sell anything.
That was my next question, by the way.
Even if you're not passionate about it.
So okay, so here's my
because I don't know if I ever had to answer this, but. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask you. I'm like, okay, so if I know how to sell cars, do you think I can sell anything?
Yes.
Like I see. Okay, so here's my question. I've seen a lot of people. You know, network marketing is big. There's people that are coming from right now, especially in this recent, I would say 6 months. Many people have been transitioning from a product-based company to a service-based company.
Okay.
Do you think these same people, let's just say they don't have passion for this product, but they know the margins are way higher in payments wise, do you think they'll have the same success? Or even bigger success?
Listen, exactly. Sales is sales is sales. So just think of it. When somebody's like, you have to be passionate about the product. Okay, pal, let's play. 14 years old.
Wallahi, I love this, bro.
Wait, 14 years old.
Yeah.
Somebody goes with a sign in my university. The sign, in my high school.
Yeah.
There's a sign that reads out this: $100 to $500 on the weekend. If you want to make $100 to $500, sign up here. So I don't know what the product is.
Yeah, I remember these signs. But I saw them at York once.
Yeah, and I'm in high school.
Yeah.
I'm in high school. Maybe even like 13, because I'm a late baby, December 9th. Right? So it's like grade 9 or whatever, grade 10. So think of this: $100 to $500. Everybody walks by the sign. By the way, do I know the product? Nope. Do I know the service? Nope. Don't know what I have to do. Go up to the guy. I'm like, dude, if I have to dance, I'll dance. Like, tell me what I have to do because I'm broke. So think of this. Signs up. By the way, everybody walks by the sign. So I already knew cynics from day one. Like when people are cynical and skeptical, I convince myself always of this situation too as well. When people are cynical and skeptical about us, what we do, I say, well, everybody walked by that sign when they were 14. They're gonna walk by our opportunity just like they did when they were 14. Nobody was programmed to take opportunity. Everybody was fucking broke, and they still walked by the $100 to $500 sign, and they said, "Yo, bro, we're going to lunch. What are you signing up to?" I'm like, "Bro, you're broke. You can't even afford McDonald's. You're going to lunch. I'm gonna sign up to this. It says $100 to $500." So I seen cynics since day one. Because you're not programmed to look for opportunity. You're programmed just to, hey, stay in the system, finish your work, and go to fucking lunch. Nobody said go sign up to the $500 thing. So I was the maniac that said, okay, I'm going to sign up to this, whatever it was, $500. And then when somebody said,
what is the knife thing?
We sell, what is it?
Was it the knife?
It was door to door. It was direct sales door to door, but it was aeration services. So aeration was just poking holes in people's grass. Bad winters, poke holes in people's grass. So going back, bro, when I signed up to this, I did not know the product. I didn't know what I was selling. But I didn't know I was fucking broke. My parents split up at the time. And I'm like, I'm going to make a shit ton of money right now. And I didn't get accepted into KFC, actually. I never even said this. Like, I applied to be at KFC because it was a dream to work a job. My brother just started working at Pizza Hut. And I'm like, fuck, man, he's working at Pizza Hut.
KFC, eh?
Yeah, like Pizza Hut was right beside KFC, right? So I'm like, I wanted to outwork my brother and make more money than my brother because my brother was 16, I was like 14. So I said, I'm going to fucking work at KFC and double his hours. I'm going to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and bring home more money and show my grandfather that I'm making more money than my brother. So fast forward, bro, I start the job. Okay, I'm 14. You're in a warehouse with all these machines. They pump you up in the morning. They give you the machine and you go work. Okay, you go knock on doors. They give you the area. Here are your 400 homes that you can knock on. This is your area. Don't go outside of it. Don't put the money in your pocket. Write down every single lawn that you do.
Yeah,
so we're knocking on doors, poking holes on people's grass. I'm smashing it. I'm making money. Let's go back. I'm smashing it. I'm making money Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm making hundreds and hundreds on the weekend. Was I fucking passionate about poking holes in people's grass?
Probably not.
No. I wasn't passionate. However, I did start to realize this. As I started to do it more, I started to hear more stories. I started to see results inside of it. I'm like, oh shit, this shit actually works. And all I started to do to myself was I started to convince myself, none other, that this was fucking gold for somebody's lawn.
Yeah.
And even if I wasn't convincing myself of it, I also convinced myself of this, that some people don't need this because they don't care about their lawn.
Yeah.
And then there's some people like my dad that it's keeping up with the Jones and they care about their lawn. So my job was just to find the right people that give a shit about their lawn. So my job was just to find the right customer, solve their problem, and go on, and that's sales. You find the right people, you solve a problem, you sell the product. That's sales.
Yeah.
So does it take to become passionate? No. I knocked on more doors. I found the right person. I sold the customer. So I think in business, it's just, okay, are you hungry? Can you find the right people? Can you sell a product? I could sell anything because I'll find those people. I'll be like, okay, where are these people majority of the time? And how do I sell these people? And what is like, and then I started to realize, okay, yes, now let me keep going with this. If there is a product that you are passionate about, will you make more money? 150%.
Yeah.
Probably because you're more fucking fired up to sell it.
Yeah.
But people back their success because they're like, well, I'm not passionate about it. It's a fucking excuse.
Yeah, I agree.
Play the cards that are dealt. Play. Let's see if you can win with a fucking shit hand. If you can win with a shit hand, maybe you'll deserve the good hand and you'll play better with the good hand. I fucking sold aeration in holes. Dirt was coming out and it looked like manure. And people would say, is that the thing where my lawn looks like shit? And I still made money. So, you know, it's like people complain and they get a website set up for them. You have a fucking website.
So do you feel like, so you said your brother's 2 years older than you?
Yeah, my brother's 2 years
So
older.
is he in sales?
No, my brother's a computer engineer.
Computer engineer.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Which, by the way, I hired my brother. Like, you know, I hired my brother when I made my own company when I was 16, and I fired my brother.
Nice.
And my brother we just talked about this. My grandfather said, hire your brother back. And I think, you know, some people, they just don't want more in life. And in sales, you just got to want more. It's garbage in, garbage out. And then I looked at my brother, I'm like, you can't push somebody to do what they don't want to do inside of their life.
Exactly.
And I always tell people this. I'm like, you're trying to push somebody to do something that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
If you give one command, they don't do it, they're probably not going to do it the second, third time.
Yeah.
Even if they say they want to do it.
Yeah, you're not going to. They're
Even
going to
if
do it
they-
before you
even-
tell them to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to fuck
It'll
up
be
and
done-
say,
it'll be done well
what can I
before.
do better?
You had a question, Armin?
Both of you guys.
Oh, shit.
What would you wish to know 5 years ago?
What would I wish to know 5 years ago? I think, you know, for myself that I have a lot more time than I thought that I had. So, you know, to me, I was always like just putting this time pressure. Oh, I'm, you know, 25, 26, 27. And sometimes you start doing things that are unaligned with like 100-year plan. And then I start to realize I'm going to be in business till like I'm 89 years old.
Yeah.
Right? So like just focus on the action. Don't focus on the time. And I you know, I was always focused on the time of receiving things, then just being more like, I'm really good at just playing today. Like,
Yeah.
that's just and I think you're probably good at that too. Like, I'm so good. Yes, I can reminisce about past. Yes, I can think about tomorrow and be a big visionary. And I can think about how I reverse engineer yesterday. But I'm such a good player today. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just good on the field playing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's really good.
You think 5 years ago?
Well, time is one of them. Absolutely. I was rushing the process, bro. Anything to it. But I would say one of the things that I've done really well that I should have done more of is maybe since I started, I always talk good to myself. Like if you open all my notes in 2017 when I got started, I was speaking so nice to me, bro. Well done, bro. You're a fucking champ. You're this, you're that. And it was just me not lying to myself, but it was me speaking to the higher version of me. But I felt like I didn't do it enough, right? And the things that I wrote, funny story, I opened the book, the 2017 book probably a couple months ago, and I was looking at it. There's nothing that I wrote down in the book that I haven't done yet, that I have not like fully accomplished. Which means the two things: I wasn't dreaming enough. I wasn't dreaming big enough. But because I wasn't dreaming big enough, because number one, I wasn't surrounded by dreamers, right? I was at my job. So my biggest thing in life was how can I get to the top of this work chain, right? A good life. How can I be a VP? The problem is there was no other There was no non-white VP of that company. It's just all white people, right? And I guess that was in my head, that was not an excuse, right? The car that I wrote down at that point was a Maserati. I got that a long time ago. I think I said I want to make $1 million by 10 years because I was basing on what my manager was making. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be at his position at one point. So I want to make $1 million in 10 years. So I'll be 31 by then. But it's just, I wasn't, I wasn't grateful enough. And the dreamers thing. And this is why I think community is big.
Yeah.
This is why, like Daniel, I truly believe, bro, your course and your system is like, I think you should sell it for 10 times more. But I know what you're doing. You're creating such a massive community to allow people to dream. Because if I'm in a chat with somebody that's gonna say I'm gonna make $100 million this year, I'm like, holy shit, I better step my game up, man. And this is why I'm big on courses. I'm big on not courses. I'm big on masterminds. We're talking about masterminds, do you remember? Yeah. And we said there's not really much masterminds that I see there's big value in, but there's a couple of them though that I would put
for a reason.
Yeah.
And what's the reason? For access
to people. You need access to people. Like when I was...
Your brain gets exposed.
Yeah. So my first ever mastermind that I bought, I was shitting my pants paying the money. Right? Although it wasn't crazy money. It's like, I think 25 grand. But I'm like, I've never paid... Oh, it's 25 grand US. So like 30 grand Canadian. I'm like, I've never spent this much money on some videos. In my head, it was some videos. Right? So I'm like, what I'm going to learn? And then eventually I'm like, it's not what I learn. It's who I meet. So let me be nice to these people. Let me start making connections. And I truly believe, bro, what made me my first $1 million is some of the connections that I made at that point.
100%.
Like I have a billionaire. He hates the word that I call him a mentor, but he is a mentor to me. But he's more of a friend at this point. He's 55. He's an Arab guy, and he's in the medical space. He told me that his first $1 billion he bought a mastermind, Arab mastermind, and he met a guy that led him to another guy that made him his first $1 billion.
Billion.
He's like, yeah, billion. So he's like, oh, they partnered and then they made something that made them $1 billion, I guess. And he's like, do you think the 100 grand is worth it? I'm like, is that even a question, bro? 100 billion, sure. But he was like, you don't know because you can never connect the dots looking forward. You can always connect the dots looking backwards. I didn't know when I was paying 100 grand, was this mastermind gonna make me XXX rather than just having the faith enough to, okay, well, I know, I trust me. I trust that I'm gonna put the money in and get there. So I feel like this is, something huge that Daniel's focused on the community. Because I know a lot of people, man, talk marketing and they all know Daniel, but I really know who Daniel is, and we have a lot of common traits, bro. Me and you. Other than that, we're both Sag, but we think very similar. Longer term game, 100. I love when you said 100 years, bro, because I think the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna be in business till these guys will die by then. Like these old people, bro, will be dead.
It's funny because I always say, I'm like, I'm never gonna stop.
I'm not gonna stop.
And the people that make that commitment, that they're like, I got 100 years, always end up winning because most people don't literally look at that. Like,
it's true.
Some people look like at a 2-year game plan, or some shit like that. I'm like, you're gonna have to put a gun to my head and put me over the balcony and say, stop doing business.
And then I'll stop.
And then I always say that. But I got like 80 years.
I admire people that like when I meet somebody, bro, that's young and having success, I'm like, good for you. But when I meet somebody 60 years old still in the game, I'm like, bro, I want to be like
that's
you,
respect,
bro.
Yeah.
This is, to me, you're like, I met an Amway guy, bro. Sorry, a Herbalife guy. 50 years in Amway, bro. Made, oh my God, tens of millions of dollars. And I'm like, bro, you're a legend.
And still doing it
to this day.
Yeah.
Like 50 plus, bro. He's like at 70 years old right now. Still jumping on stage,
building
speaking.
legacy, brother.
But bro, do you understand what it is? 50 years in one company, making I think he made over $100 million.
Bro, Daniel G's grandmother.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that.
How long, brother?
Probably about 60 now.
60
Yeah,
years,
60. 58. Wow. I don't know. Her math is always off. One day she says 55. My dad's
but what company? What company was it?
Avon.
Was it
Direct
Avon?
sales and network marketing company. Same thing, right? Just product-based company.
So how much do you think she's making right now? Residuals?
No, she kind of just stopped now.
Yeah.
She just collects. She just has customers.
Collects the checks. Yeah, of course.
Because like your team stops working. You're not going to have a big residual anymore, The team stops working. It's just done at a certain age. But yeah, even, for my grandmother, it was never her journey to do well inside of her Avon business, because my grandfather was pretty successful in subcontracting. Yeah. Right. So he had a subcontracting business, and it was kind of more just like a side hobby.
Yeah.
And she's just growing it from there, built out a team.
That's dope, man.
But I always say, listen, even my grandmother's biggest hater was my grandfather, which is kind of crazy, right? Like, and yeah,
Towards network marketing.
No, not even. It wasn't. They don't even know network marketing.
Yeah,
like if you ask my grandmother, were you in network marketing? She's not going to say network marketing. She'll tell you about her team, her saleswoman that lived on her block.
Because it was, bro. Social media was not around at that point. I don't think it was called network marketing. It was just called the company.
Yeah, direct selling company, direct sales company.
Yeah.
And you know, I always look back to first. Yes, my grandfather was probably if you call haters back then, my grandfather would say, "Why the fuck are you doing this?" Always. And I would say, "Wow, that is the most proud thing I am about my bro." If you guys met my grandfather, okay, majority of people would tap out. Like people tap out from.
Is he hardcore? Comment. Is he hardcore?
Yeah, like big Sicilian guy.
I need this guy to come to my restaurant.
He's very straightforward. Get a lot of my advice from him, and real fucking man. Yeah, like a real man. Nobody fucks around. My sales runs the family from this guy. The way I make business move comes from my grandfather. But yeah, he was the biggest naysayer about my grandmother's business because he would say, "Hey, why do you need to do this? Like, I'm working. You don't need to be doing this. You're filling the house up with product, Yeah. So the biggest thing that I credit her for is just keeping going while you're sleeping with somebody that is your biggest naysayer. Mm. But I always say in life, I realize that my grandmother would have been dead internally if you're not in the hunt for something more. So I always say, don't you're dead when you're not in the hunt. That's when you're dead.
I love that.
So, because anytime you're in the hunt for something, life is exciting.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing
you're running for something. You're shooting
even if
towards.
You're doing garbage, right?
Yeah.
Life is exciting.
Yeah.
So anytime I feel my life getting a little bit boring, my life doesn't really stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean like anything in my life has changed. It can actually be continuous, and now I'm on autopilot, and then I just realize, this now becomes easy.
Yeah.
And I don't become in the hunt for something. My energy and my happiness starts to go a little bit lower. It could be the smallest thing. I can ask somebody, "Hey, what are you in the hunt for this month?" They'll be like, "What do you mean?" That's why you're lacking a little bit of energy. That's like me. So I got to do something stupid, just crazy. Hey, launch it. Don't think about it. I'm doing this next month in the hunt for it. Has to be scary. Boom. Now I got my energy back up. Because this, and this I know, and that scares me. So, anytime I know the steps, it scares me. Because any good entrepreneur knows this, that it's never supposed to make sense, and that's when it makes sense. That's when an entrepreneur knows. When you're like, man, this doesn't make sense, and then this little weird intuitional feeling says, that's when it all fucking makes sense. So when it all makes sense, I actually get scared. I'm like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, that all equals up. What am I in the hunt for that's a little bit scary?
Yeah.
That I know I got to bust my balls off to actually hit that goal. That's when the energy starts coming back up.
So I want to flip the switch. No more sales.
Okay, cool.
You said something that is interesting to me. You said, your grandfather is a real Sicilian man. He's a real man. What's happening to men, bro?
You mean
this century
in general?
Yeah.
I think number one, a man was a provider. Okay, that's what a man knows.
Yeah.
If you go to my grandfather, the man's the provider.
Yeah, absolutely.
The man works hard.
Is that a bad thing?
No. Why?
But I feel like in today's society, bro, where men are being attacked in all directions.
Yeah, but I don't. First of all, man, I'm gonna keep this real. I don't look at anything.
Yeah.
Like online, I'm very muted online.
Yeah,
I don't look at fuck all. I know things happen. These girls attack these guys. These guys attack these girls. I just think there's something called like work and ethics. Before, ethics is what you stand for. Okay, this is like your standard. Before, a standard was for our grandparents. You work less than a 60-hour work week, you're a little bitch. That's it. You're a bitch. You work 60 hours. My grandfather said, don't say, oh, you're tired if you're working under 60 hours.
Yeah.
He said, don't ever come home. Because I remember one time I came home off a part-time, work shift or whatever, 30 hours. He said, you're tired? He said, don't ever say the word tired in front of me again. That was my ethics.
Bro.
He said, this is 60-hour work weeks. This is it, 60 to 70-hour work weeks. So that's what I grew up to be. Now, as things get a little bit easier, people become a little bit weaker and people become a little bit lazier.
Yeah.
Just because you have the resources and you can become a lot more resourceful, people get a lot more lazier.
Yeah.
So to me, I just think, number one, yes, provider and hunter. It's
Absolutely.
just innate in us, I think, as men. But, I think obviously, men are, there's so many other distractions now.
Yeah.
For a guy, there's distractions. People can distract you, and you don't stay on course. That hey, by the way, you have to provide. Whether by the way you want a family in the future, whatever the case is. number one, provide for yourself, provide for your family or your friends that you have right now. This is the way I think. I think this has been lost, this discipline, that now people are going to be like, oh, well, this person can give me 50% and this person can give me 50%.
This was my next question for you. So are you going to find a wife that she would work, or you would?
Oh, I always say this. Listen, here, I always say this. This is the straight up answer. I said this to friends last week. I said, this is the wife.
Yeah.
Ready? Comes in.
Yeah.
My wife's already successful.
Yeah.
Watch. In her own rights,
Yeah.
she's successful. She knows how to make money, because if she doesn't, it's not attractive to me. So
Yeah.
if she doesn't know how to make money, it's not attractive to me, because that means she doesn't know how to win.
Yeah.
And to me, I want a woman that
Yeah.
knows how to win. Now, is she going to be the provider and stuff? No. I want to know that she's passionate.
Yeah.
She knows how to win in her own right. She knows how to make money. But when she comes in, she's not going to be the provider. She could stop the moment. She can actually stop even the moment she comes in. She could stop the moment she comes in.
Yeah.
I need a win. That's for me. Like I need a complete win. Hey, this is how I was able, to build this out. I think that's attractive for me. Then I think a woman biologically can go play her part, have a baby, do what she needs to do, stay home. I haven't thought about that. I don't even know if I don't know if I'll get married, dude. I don't even know if I'll.
Brother, I have one question.
No. Before you move on to that question,
I don't know if I'll have
It's
kids.
about the same.
Really,
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have kids.
Daniel, you never thought of this,
Dude, I'm 29 years old.
Dog, it doesn't matter, bro. But you're not gonna have kids.
I-
Daniel, no
I
way, bro.
genuinely-
I thought of this multiple times. Bro, there's no way. First of all, there's no way I'm not getting married. And there's no way, bro, I'm having anything less than 6 kids. Why would I even But what's the point? What's the point of life if we're not reproducing? That's my question for you.
What's my point of life?
If what's the point of life if we're not reproducing?
That's I don't control. Like I'm just playing off like the way I feel in my life. You know, I'm not gonna say.
Do you feel like right now you're not ready?
Bro, I don't even put that label like 35. I need to have a kid. It's
not the age, but at this point, let's say you're 21, but right now internally.
That's why I said I don't know if I'll have kids.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'll have kids. I don't think I'll get married because I know myself very well. I don't know. I enjoy my life right now, and I think my purpose is to just live my life. I don't need 45.
Give you some time, brother.
45 different things.
I'll give you some time.
He's 87, by the way.
I'm.
He's like, when I was your age, I used to think the exact same thing.
No, I never said. But look, like I just really believe that there's.
Sure, dude. One day you meet a right person.
No, absolutely.
Sure, whatever you have. But I'm not even thinking about that. Like I'm not thinking about that. To me,
So personal versus business. Is it like 90-10?
What do you right now?
Like your life, would it be 90% business and 10% personal?
Yeah.
Or is it just 100% business?
No, 90-10. Because now I'm back in Canada for my family. Well,
because for me right now
we're a little bit of business.
For me right now is 90-10. Like 90% of my life is business, and everybody that I do anything with is 90%, and just 10% my family.
Same thing. Yeah,
Interesting.
Same thing with my family.
I thought I was alone.
No. Probably the exact same ratio.
Yeah.
Like the exact same ratio. I would say a little bit, I'm a little bit more distant because, I live further away right now.
Yeah.
But
when you were here, you were weekly.
Like socially, meaning like, with friends, yes, 10% probably.
Yeah.
10%. Whether that's a FaceTime, whatever the case is.
Brother, to this day, what do you think is your greatest weakness?
My greatest
weakness. If you don't want to say, don't have to say.
Why would I tell them? I mean, listen, I think I have a big heart, and some people be like, really? Like I have a big heart.
Of course.
And I love giving. Like it's just, if I have a buck, I gave my buck before I spent my buck on myself. That was just me. Like, it's from day one. If I had $4 in my bank account, it was my first $4. It went to my girlfriend first, my mother first. It was always just giving to people, right? And I think, it's a great trait in business, right? Because, you're selfless. You're helping. Comes a point in business where, you start to realize, well, if I withdraw everything, there's nothing left.
Nothing left.
Right? So I think, to me, being a feeler and a giver, because you feel, right? You have to watch out, like even feeling can destroy you inside a business. Emotions can destroy you inside a business. And giving too much to the wrong people can destroy you inside a business.
How do you identify the right people?
So then, well, I think for me, the giving part is important. What I mean by that is majority of the time when I was earlier on in my business, I would give to everybody. And then I'd realize I can't give them everything, because if I answer 85 DMs, 18 text messages, and this and this and this, I'm depleted, I'm done. And then the more you give, the more people ask. Then I just realized I have to meet always people at full energy. So now if somebody comes inside of my life and they ask me a question, right? And I realize I'm a giver. It's not that I want to be, I don't want to answer the question, because I will not inside of my DM 99% of the time, okay? If it's quick, sure, I can say what they need to hear quickly. Then I say, hey, meet me at my live stream at 10:10. And the reason why I say is because I'm like, hey, listen, I want to meet you at full energy. So when I give, I want to give. I don't want to give you like 5%. I want to meet you at full capacity and full energy. So when I'm on my live, I'm like, if you watch me, you're like, what the fuck is this guy on right now? Because this is my shit. Like, this is it. Yeah. I'm going to give to you guys right now for an hour. You're not going to find a live stream like mine in the world. There's no one in the world that can run lives like me. Yeah. For 4 years? So for 4 years, you can't, because I made it just part of my work. This time, it's just to give for somebody. Yeah. Somebody the other day said, hey, bro, can we do the podcast on my live stream? I said, no. He said, why? I said, because my live stream, I'm giving right now. I don't want my podcast. I don't want them to listen about my life story right now. I'm in there. They want to ask me questions. I'm going to express the way I feel at that point. I'm going to give them full energy the way I feel that day. You're going to know the way I feel that day. You know, like you're going to see how I'm feeling that day. First 5 minutes might be low, then I might blow up on somebody. If I want to tell somebody, hey, fuck off, don't be weak. It's being said on that live stream. That's my time to meet somebody at full energy right there.
Brother, that's the issue. For 4 years, for 3.5 years that I know you, right?
Yeah.
Every day you always come high energy.
Yeah.
I don't understand this, brother. Like,
yeah, but
who fills your cup,
you don't.
Daniel?
I know you said like sometimes I don't feel. Yeah, I'm human. Like I have these things, but like, what's one thing you would tell people?
Dude, you internally. I say the day I don't come at this live stream fired up. Yeah, I miss days, bro. We're traveling. It's difficult. Of course, I miss a day every 20 days. The thing is, the day I don't miss it, the day I don't come at full energy, there's always somebody behind me is my mentality. So I say I'm just a winner. So I don't want nobody to outbeat me on these. That's it. I'm just have a competitive mindset. So even if I don't feel like fucking showing up, you can't back out of the fight. You got to show up and just fucking fight. Yeah. So to me, it's just like, it just stems down to sports. Played sports my whole life. I just hate losing. Yeah. I hate losing. And I think this is a thing that has been, now frayed away, where people are like okay with. I think the best people in business don't like fucking losing. And so I'm like, hey, by the way, this is my thing. It's part of my job. I got to just show up. I got to do it. Nobody's going to do it for me. It's part of the MBAs. It's part of my job criteria. And I'm going to do the fucking best of it, because I'm not going to just do it half-assed. So when I show up, I'm going to show up and be there with these people. That's it. This is it. And it does, because nobody gives a fuck how you feel. When you get to business, you will realize nobody gives a shit how you feel inside of your business. Yeah. And I have realized that. And now I'm realizing this more. When you say you want to be a coach, when you say you want to be a leader, right? You have to really realize, right? Okay, you've asked for this. So don't say, oh my God, I've been pouring out so much and I can't meet them at full energy. Well, you really asked for this, by the way.
More money, more responsibilities. But
I always say it, right? But you actually asked for this. Like, when you really think about it, you ask for people. What do people come with? Energy and emotions. Yeah. How are you going to play that out now? Now you got to say, okay, shit, I asked for this. And I got to show up every single day, because that's the only way that they're going to trust me as a leader. Because the only thing they're looking at is like, I know I'm a little bit inconsistent, so hopefully this guy's more consistent than I am. That's the first thing that they're always looking at. That's all they're saying. They're like, well, I know everybody follows somebody that's consistent, because most people know that they're not consistent inside of their life. Yeah. Right? So they're going to follow that person. The moment you drop off of that is the moment you lose the people. So I don't have an option. There's no B, there's no A, and I play to win. So every single time I'm on, I play to win. I'm on the podcast, play to win.
Brother, are you happy?
Yeah, man. I fucking love what I do. Yeah. You look at me, you're like, man, this guy's so intense, right?
No, bro. I'm just learning.
Yeah, I really, I'm at a point in my life. Like, I feel like every single month that goes by, I get happier and happier inside of my life.
Rakana, bro, are you happy? Like, when you sit at night, like, is it peace? Are you like, nice?
It's never at peace, bro.
Yeah, of course.
I'm happy, but I'm never at peace. My I don't know if you have this thing, bro. My mind just runs, bro. Yeah, sure. It does not fucking stop.
Yeah, both
bro.
of you
It's
guys are like
always
that.
one thing after another, and how can I do this? Okay, well, I did this, I should improve this, and I can do this, and I should be more disciplined. And it's no matter what I do, bro, I should be more. And I don't know, the word happy, you have to really kind of define it more. But as in, am I happy with my progress? Absolutely. You know, I've done things in 5 years that, you know, people dream of. But it's just I'm never content. There's always
satisfied.
There's
It's
always
different. Like, you know,
there's always another level.
Yeah, of
And
course.
and what I had to change this past year is because this past year, Daniel, is the most money I've made in my entire life, like 2022. Although it didn't come from one source, it came from multiple sources. This is the first year that I'm investing in, you know, other businesses outside of my online business. This is the first company that, you know, I've created other things that have helped other people outside of network marketing, outside of the trading world, outside of the crypto world, outside of the forex world. This is my first year creating things that I've always wanted to create to be able to serve other people that are not within this spectrum, and I've made a lot of money from that. With that being said, I have to always look at my progress. I'm like, okay, well, this is good, but there's always another level. Mm-hmm. So I think blissful satisfaction is what they call. I think Ed Mylett calls it blissful satisfaction. You're blessed, but there's always another level. There's always something you're hunting for. There's always something you're shooting for. And I don't think that is, to me, that's not bad. To me, it's just sometimes it does put me in a interesting mood to maybe I think too much, but I've been really good at just taking it off my mind and putting it on a paper. Do you do that?
Yeah, for sure, of course.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I'm a big writer too. Like, you know, I write always before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I journal things out. My goals, of course, 100%, just to make sure, you know, I'm on path. Again, you know, I'm the only person that really cares the most about myself.
Yeah.
Like you said, talk good to yourself. So I always make sure, you know.
Do you do the same thing? You're good to yourself?
Yeah, of
You speak
course,
nice,
of course.
etc.
Yeah, always. I think that's so important, man. Like, I'm my biggest, it's, you know, it goes back to just like 101 of affirmations. You know, you're your biggest supporter. You know, I got to fuel my fucking self up every single day. Like, you know, I have, you know, one of my best friends here, Tony. And I think when you're
What's his actual name, though?
Tony, bro.
No, his actual name.
It's Tony. It's Tony. But you know, what's important is, I think, not just being good to yourself, but you got to find people in your life that are very good to you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a lot of people, what I realized, because, you know, a lot of people aren't always there.
Yo, I love that, bro. I love you mentioned that.
In your moments, like, think of this, right? You can build out, like, you can have a team of 50,000 people. I can have all these millions of followers, do such amazing things, and all this attention, But, you know, that's like the front facing of it.
It's true.
When you go to bed at nighttime, or when you're just home and you're smoking your hookah, I'm having a cigar, blah, 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 who's there? Now, when there's only a couple people, then there's other questions like, how are these people to you? What do they say to you? Like, what? Like, do they give you good compliments?
Yeah.
Do they hype you up? Because that's how I am to my people that are around me. The 3-4 people that are around me, whether it's a girl, it's my best friend, man, I'm a fucking cheerleader for them. I am a cheerleader more than fucking anybody.
Even
like,
to people that are,
love.
I don't think it's only your best friends, bro. You've been, I feel like when we went to Lebanon, bro, I saw a different side of you that I've never seen. Out of like love, I'm like you reaffirmed that I'm on the right path.
Right.
And I don't know. Maybe I think you subconsciously did this. You know, you just being you, and I'm like, because I don't know who pulled me inside. It's like, bro, Daniel really likes you. I'm like, why wouldn't he like? Like, why wouldn't he like me? I'm confused. But and then I thought, I'm like, yo, like he reaffirmed some things. Like, you came into the event and I was stressed out of my mind. Really? Remember that the Lebanon event?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, like there's too many people, and the thing is this and this, and I broke the door of the thing because, bro, it was.
I find like as you do more events, I was kind of just, I wasn't even thinking that you were stressed, because I'm like, this is you have to be.
Yeah.
You know, you start doing them so many times where you're like, oh fuck, you're like, you know, this is. I was looking at you stressed. I'm like, I know exactly what he's going through right now. Like, I know exactly what he's going through.
And just he said a couple words,
how you want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know. And then I'm looking, and it's crazy because on the outskirts, everybody's like, yo, this is crazy. On the inside, you're like, man, we fucked up on a million things. Like, you'll be speaking on stage, and all you'll be thinking about is like, why isn't that light on?
Bro.
Why isn't that door screen?
Oh,
yo,
my
do they got
God.
the next person in line? And I always thank God, because I say, thank you, God, that I know everything A to Z right now, and these people will never know that I'm thinking about a light right now.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm good. Like, you tell me, the last thing I'm going to think about when I have an event is the speaking part. Because I'm like, I can't prepare 5 minutes before an event. I better know my shit. You know? So that's like almost like the last thing I'm thinking about. Everything else is you become an event planner. And I know a lot of people talk about delegation and It doesn't matter what you do. This is your baby. When you care about it, you're going to be. So I seen it. And then, you know, it's crazy because I'm like, man, this guy like smashed it in the time frame and just like, you know, the way everything was done, and especially where we were with the times there and
you
what
love
happens
Lebanon,
there and what's happening there. Like incredible.
Appreciate you.
I knew what you were going through. But I'm also like, this guy's psycho for not thinking this is like, you know, fucking A class right now. You know, I'm like, nobody's pulling this off here. Nobody's pulling events off in general right now. You know,
this
nobody
brings
can pull events
me
off.
up to my next question. Actually,
Yeah.
How do you guys handle stress? Rather it's personal, business. Like stress comes, like your body feels it. Like how do you handle that?
Daniel goes for a run.
Yeah, actually, you know,
I swear to God, bro.
It was my first thing. So I was gonna say, to me, and I know you guys probably feel the exact same way because I know both your guys' personalities. To me, if my health is off, doesn't matter how good my business is going.
Of course,
I'm done with this podcast.
Yeah,
He's so right.
It doesn't matter how
So
good the
right.
business is going. You're like, whoa. This fuels my whole life, number one. And we're born the same. Like, you know, we were all born, you know, like athletes, like working out, blah, blah. We all worked out when we were young. So I think I always have to go back to the person that made me successful. And the person that made me successful was the healthy guy, the fitness guy, because that built all the persistency, the consistency, that let off all my fucking steam, all of that. So I go back to that and I take care of that always. And I can name you guys times in my life where I've made the most money in one day. I remember once it was in 2019, had a smashing day with my business. We took a jet. We landed in Cabo, Mexico. Okay, we took a jet. We were taking jets every 3 days. Okay. Yeah. I remember one page is like, oh, these people are green screening jets. So we're taking a jet. Like they were actually saying we were green screening jets. Like, you know, there was a lot of the hater pages that were like, that's a fake jet. Like, I'm looking at my bank account. I was sending my business
brother, it's minus 50K. What do you mean?
So I remember this day. We take a jet, wake up in the morning, didn't have the jet planned, by the way, just my biz person at the time. He said, or the guy I was with at the time actually said, hey, bro, we're going to take a jet this morning. Okay, cool. It was normal. It was like, you know, the 8th, 9th time I was taking a jet that month. So I said, yeah, okay. He's like, we're going to go out to Mexico. We have like 8 people coming by, beautiful girls, you know. We're all on a jet to Mexico. Us, 12 of us, beautiful girls, 5, 6 girls. We're off to Mexico, land in Mexico. Shooter Steve's always with us too.
Shooter Steve, legend.
I love
he was there. He was always there.
Brother, every time I feel Rakan for something, I'm like, Shooter Steve, bro.
Yeah. Shooter Steve. So, and I remember, you know, like think of this day. You fly in, you land in Mexico. Then we were having dinner, you know. A chef made us dinner at the villa, and then we were on a yacht in Cabo. And I remember it's like a sunset. Everybody's drinking, And I'm at the tip of this yacht. And all I can remember is looking down at myself, right? And I made the most money that day. I'm like, fuck, I don't feel good about myself right now. And I remember my biggest fucking day, and I didn't feel good. And I just like something hit me where I'm like, I just let like 2.5 years slip by, you know? Because I was like, you know, working out, running, and then you get caught up in this business.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? And I'm just hating this whole scene. I remembered like, I think I even got off the yacht early. Like I lied, I needed to puke, and I just went for like a run, right? And then it kept hitting even more. So then the next week we take a plane, I think, from Mexico to Bali. The next week we had an event in Bali, and like the important things in life, right? The next thing was we go to Bali, and we're in this big villa, 18 bedrooms. Bali is pretty cheap. Indonesia is pretty cheap, right? We're in this big villa, and there's nobody. It's just like me, a friend, a few girls, just us chilling in a villa.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning. I go for a swim. I'm in this pool alone. This is like 18 bedrooms. I'm not even gonna lie. I think like maybe more than 18, like 20 bedrooms. Yeah, right? 4 of us, massive. Like no mansion in North America you can find this big.
Yeah.
And we're paying nothing, like maybe $1,000 a night, $2,000 a night.
Yeah.
So I'm looking and I said, man, imagine I was here in this villa alone with whether it's like, and nobody was around me, like no good family, no good friends, and I was alone. And I was rich as fuck, and I'm swimming in this swimming pool, life would suck. So I realized in 2 weeks, 2 most important things kicked to my head: health and family.
Yep.
And
That's
I
right.
empathetically put myself, like, I actually place myself, I'm like, I'm rich. This is my house. I don't have no friends, no family, maybe no wife and kids like you talked about, no important people around me, and I'm alone. This would suck. Swimming alone would suck. It would suck. So then two of the most important things, came to me. And then when you go back to stress and anxiety or whatever you talked about, it was health and people around me. Those two most important things, health and people, right? So I focus on my health, helps me gain back, helps me think strategically. I'm like, I don't have to kumbaya meditate, but I can actively meditate while I run, I can actively meditate. The reason why I like running is because, if you enjoy running, you get into like a runner's high. After this certain kilometer that you're cruising at, you're just like in a whole different complete state. And I think that's the first thing. And then good people around me too as well. Good people around me that can actually not just come to complain, but actually can sometimes help solve the problem.
Yeah.
Solve the problem. Like, not a shoulder to lean on. Solve the problem.
Help you solve,
Solve the problem, not a complaint. I don't need to complain, because I realize, man, these guys got enough bullshit to come.
It's true.
And I don't want to become the person that says don't complain, and then you're complaining to other people.
But I need to ask this personal question for my own personal resources. You said you do business 90, personal 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
When a girlfriend comes in,
Mm-hmm.
how do you divide? Do you give her from the 10, or you open another 10, or
Hit
you
him.
open another 30?
Daniel,
He's like, go in the lock,
Brother.
you take out another 10.
hit him, Daniel.
Okay.
Hard, bro.
So here.
Because I felt like my focus shifted.
Watch what
a lot.
happens, right? You're in it for the game, right? You better be in it for the game. Because I'm in it for the game. Khan's in it for the game. This is our life, right? So imagine. Let me just give you the situation, because I'm going to tell you, you got to stick to your guns.
Okay.
That's the answer. The thing is this: when people start switching up and they start, okay, let me give her 20. Let me give her 30. And it becomes like 50-50. And then you're 50-50 balanced now, right? So you're like 50% with the girl. You start going to Earl's a lot more often. She's like, you're working too hard, right? And you're like, yeah, I could still, be in my business, but still be with my girl, right? So you're like, I could still do all these things. If somebody's older and they want to do more things and they work a 9 to 5, and then they're like, and they start doing a business, and now it's like 6, 7, 8, 9, and the babe's like, oh, come home early. Come home early. You're going home too late. Yeah, she's right? So watch what happens. I always know this because it's happened for myself. I would say if it's truly in your blood, like if you truly want to do this, I said you will suffocate it for a bit. You'll be like, okay, you know what? She's right. My friends are wrong. I know I could still do my business, but business is mental. It's not physical. So you always mentally got to be on it, the 90, right? But say you stop letting go of that mental. Stop thinking about your business, babe. Let's watch the Netflix stuff. Watch what's going to happen. 3 years down the road, it's going to be even worse, because a beast is going to pop back out of you.
I want to cry
and,
right now.
and you're going to say, and she's going to say, where did this beast come from?
This is good.
She's going to say, where did this beast? She's going to say, where did this beast come from? I thought you were done sleeping with your laptop. I thought you were done, Armin, sleeping with your laptop. Daniel, I thought you were done sleeping, answering your chats at 12 o'clock at nighttime. You're going crazy 3 years down the road. And you're going to say, I'm just in it for the fucking game. The beast was always inside of me. It was always inside of my blood. So you got to know, if it's actually inside of your blood, somebody can hold it for 35 years. But my dad became an entrepreneur at 63. So it was inside of his blood. But it was held, and then boom, it bursted at 63 years old. It will always come back out. So now you have to ask yourself, is it in my fucking blood? Because if it is, the beast will kick back up. She's going to look back at you and say, what happened? And you're going to say, well, this was always fucking me.
Yeah.
So you have to watch I can't remember who I was explaining this to friends. I said, I have a boundary in my relationship too as well. The woman that I'm with, or I'm going to be with, will never question why I'm doing certain things, why I'm working hard. But she could say what? But she's not allowed to say why.
Yeah.
And some people are going, oh, that's so rude. If she's saying why, with that why of suspicion and not that why of curious, because why of curiosity is a little bit different. Babe, why'd you do that? Like, do you think this is going to yield this? And there's like a little smile, and you're intuitively, okay, cool, I'm going to give you the answer. But if you're asking why I'm doing certain moves, and you're a real guy that's in it, got to check your blood. You got to be like, am I doing this business for real? And she keeps asking why. It's a time to say, hey, by the way, my job is not to sell you on the vision every single night, because that's going to become fucking exhausting. Wow. And do you know how many people lose in business that are young, that lose. And I know there's people watching that have literally quit fucking business because they spent so much time convincing a guy or a girl around them about the vision that they got so depleted out of it that sometimes that person actually sells them out of it. They depleted so much more of their energy than selling it to somebody else. They sold it to a person that like you're kind of like, you know, forcing it on them that never thought like you, and you deplete all your energy and you fucking quit because you try to prove somebody to your business. And which is difficult too because you're trying to explain these things that sometimes are only inside of your own head and you don't even know to reverse engineer them, right? Because like it's the art of seeing what some majority of people can't see.
Yeah.
So I always say you got to watch out where you explain your whys to, because you can explain a what, babe, what are you doing? I'm here in Italy. We're at this restaurant. Babe, why do you got to travel so much? Whoa. Hold up. You didn't ask me why I built up my business. You didn't ask me why I bought this car. You didn't ask me how I did this. You didn't ask me why I did that. Where are the whys coming out from?
Yeah.
People don't ask me why inside of my life, and I've been criticized for it. People have said, "Oh, this is too much." No, people don't ask me. I don't want it. I don't need to explain to you. Yo, you trust me? Okay, that's enough. Do you trust me? You don't fucking ask why. If you trust me, and by the way, don't also be a hypocrite, because majority of individuals, watch this. A lot of people will come to you for advice only when they want a certain side of advice for you, right? And I had this too inside of my life. And then after they want to question the other thing, I'm like, you just came to me for advice 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And now you're questioning the why, the what, the how. So I just say, hey, listen, watch who you give your whys to, and watch if it's a why is okay, but it's only the people that are curious to better them, not to judge you. And it's just in my sales mentality, because I know I don't give a prospect the game back. When a prospect I feel in my head is suspicious and they're not curious, I don't give them the energy anymore. It's over. Like automatically, I think, you know, being somebody that felt out so many people in life, and they will also say this, oh, I knew he was a dick. I knew he was an asshole, but I already knew they were judging from the first point. They were suspicions that they weren't curious. So I give curious people my energy, but I don't give, because curiosity will lead you to something. But suspicious people are just looking to like judge you on something, right? To get one up on you. So just.
What if she supports you and she's like, it's okay, but
You're
then
waiting
you
to,
find
like, say
out.
that.
But then you find out.
Yeah.
That like you're giving too much time, like it's becoming 50-50 and stuff. How do you control that?
Dude, you just gotta play towards what you want. I just look at great people inside of life, and I just look at a very logical answer. I say, okay, what did this person do to become the fucking best, bro? Like, what did they do? If it's an athlete, if it's a celebrity, and you just gotta ask yourself, are you willing to make those sacrifices? Just like, what did great people do inside of their lives? Dude, they've made just more sacrifices than majority of individuals would want to make, and sometimes they're the hardest sacrifices. I've made hard sacrifices, bro, inside of my life. Very great woman inside of my life. Just because I know, hey, you know what? Right now, I don't even think I would be able to provide this person. And it was hard because I'm in love with a girl. My business is blowing up. I got to travel here. I don't want the woman to be just on my schedule. No, I got to make a hard sacrifice right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't think it's time to be in this relationship. You know, hard sacrifice. Does it fucking suck? Yes. Any guy that tries to think they're macho man and says they don't like fucking shed a tear, they don't get a heartbroken. Fucking, it sucks.
No,
it sucks. And it's fucking hard. And you start questioning yourself. You start saying like, man, should I really have made that sacrifice? But it all makes sense in the end. Like it all makes sense in the end. You're like, oh, this is why I did it. And there's a point always where you're like, ooh, that's why. I remember that week where I said, man, this hurts so much, but this is why I did it. So these 150 people after an event thanked me. And what they're thanking you is like, yo, thank you for that hard fucking sacrifice that you took. They will never say, hey, thank you for that hard fucking sacrifice. But they're like, physically, the thank you is, man, thank you so much for the information today. Yo, thank you, Daniel, for pouring into me so much. That's like the physical thank you. But the behind the scenes thank you in my end was like, yo, thank you for giving that up.
Do you sit down by yourself at night and you're like,
always.
Daniel, good job?
Yeah, of course.
You have to speak it to
I
yourself,
already know, like, you know, I already know there's 99.9% of my points inside of my life that majority of people would have fucking quit and tapped out. Majority of people. Not just, I just know that there's so many times. That's why I love running, because, you know, running is like, okay, just 5 more fucking minutes because I'm dead right now. So if I could just push 5 more minutes, you know, this builds my persistency inside of life. So if I can build persistency inside of that aspect, I can build it inside of my business. So yes, I always give myself, so after you're done a workout, you're like, good fucking job.
Yeah.
Right?
I think we just had our best Success After Dark episode.
I have 4 more episodes of questions.
we'll have Daniel G coming on when our studio is ready. GC Studios coming soon in Toronto. It's just gonna be we're gonna smash it. But Daniel G, brother, I appreciate you for your time.
Thank you
for
so much,
I'm not joking, and this is not because we're friends. This is the best episode we've had so far.
150.
The things that you said today, bro, people should pay hundreds of thousands for, especially the last part. I think that's an eye-opening for a lot of guys, especially guys. So I appreciate you for your time, brother. Armin, my brother, thank you so much. Success After Dark,
Thank you, brother.
family,
Thank you so much,
friends. Let's make sure we share this episode. Let's make sure we like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. My brother Daniel, again, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
All the guys behind the cameras, I appreciate you guys. My brother Tony, appreciate you, bro. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.